Hello, welcome to Project Gorilla Whale. Koko is a software component named after a gorilla, and Docker is a software platform for running software in containers, hence Project Gorilla Whale. So what are we trying to do with this project? Whenever we create new software that runs on our focus cameras, we have to test it first to make sure that nothing breaks in the new features that we add, and especially also in the existing features. To do that, we use test automation. And perhaps you are familiar with the concept of having different test levels. That's what the test pyramid that you see here aims to illustrate. On the bottom, there's unit tests. These are very small, very fast, and easy to maintain. And on the top, there are end-to-end tests. In our case, these run on complete focus devices, interact with real cloud components like our own backend and like AWS. These are larger tests. They take a lot of effort to maintain, and they're also quite slow. In between, there's a kind of happy place of having tests that are meaningful in terms of the functionality that they test, but are still very maintainable. And unfortunately, we don't really have those tests for this Koko software component. The solution to change some of the tests that are currently end-to-end tests and run on real focus cameras that sit in our build room and interact with real cloud components, to change that into running Koko in a container and having it interact with mocks instead of real components. We have achieved some results in the 3 days. So we have a branch where we create a bunch of test code. We have a Docker image where we can run Koko on, and also in Team City, if I go here, you can see we have a project with actual tests running. I'll give you a quick run through of what it does. First, we are pulling the Docker image that was created specifically for this project. Here you can see, hat tip to Mammoet, by the way, for creating the image that this was inspired on. Then we are doing some setup on that image. And finally, we are starting Docker and running tests. You can see the command here. The third test here is a happy flow recording test. And you can see the software mock in action. External calls are being caught. Internal calls to Vercam are being caught and handled. Koko is getting the responses it expects. And therefore, we can run through a happy flow recording scenario where it will tell Vercam to start recording and eventually add files to the internal database and upload them. That's all pretty cool. The conclusion here is that this provides us a platform for creating faster and more stable Koko integration tests. Hat tip to all participants, Nestor, Adriano, Paula, and of course myself.